very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for waiting. As usual, we were waiting for everyone to join to our meeting. And I would like to say first, Jai Shri Mataji. So welcome to everyone to this program, this special program that we always meet with the different yogis from the different countries. And wherever you all are, good evening and good morning. So it is always pleasure from our side to introduce another Sahaja yogi from different countries. But today, first time, we are going to Portugal. So one of the Sahaja yogini from Portugal, she will be joining to our meeting. Originally, she is from Norway, but she lives in Portugal with her family since 20 years. And she is actually artist, a visual artist, and also art educator. She started Sahaja Yoga 20 years ago in 2002. and I will pause over here because we will listen all the stories from her side. And also, but in the same time, we will have another Sahaja brother who will be joining to our meeting with his music. You know him. He also joined to our meeting as a guest yogi, but the time to time he helps for our meditation with his music, with his magical fingers that he always plays the beautiful tabla. So he will be helping to our meditation today. And the Kartik Yogathan, he's joining to our meeting from San Francisco Bay Area. And I would like to welcome Bodil and Kartik. Bodil, good morning. Kartik, good evening.
Good morning, Shania. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. And can you all imagine today, I mean, the Bodil is joining from Portugal, and are you all aware the time is so early, 5:15. I mean, right now it's 5:25 over there, but it's quite early. we really appreciate for your effort and for your time. It is a big effort, Bodil, and thank you.
But you know, Shania, every Wednesday, and a few other times a week, I do get up at this time because I'm part of a wonderful group of yogis, and we meditate together online at this hour. So Wednesday is the day when I do my meditation online. So I'm always up at this time anyway.
Oh, that's wonderful. You mentioned it earlier, but I was not aware about that. The day is the same day. So that's so wonderful. So I hope you had a good sleep. You look so fresh. You look very fresh.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining to our meeting. And I would like to welcome Kartik also. Kartik, you are with us, right? Okay, maybe he's going to join soon, but he will be with us. And so I would like to hand over to you, Bodil. And so we always start first meditation. And whenever you are ready, let's start for the meditation.
Okay, beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. So nice to be here with you all. So today, since we are approaching Christmas, we're going to do a little meditation for the Agya chakra. This is a very special talk that I heard again at a certain moment, maybe a year ago, and it did something very special to me. I think sometimes Shri Mataji's words come to us at the perfect moment when we are ready to hear something new, maybe from a talk that we've heard before. Our subtle system has changed somehow. We are in the middle of a transformation. We are asking questions. And for me, this talk came and something opened up in my Agya, something transformed, something changed. It was a very, very powerful experience. So from that experience, I was in the middle of creating a workshop for a group of yogis, and I used this talk and I used this experience to create a little meditation around it. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. So let's together take up our Kundalini and do bandhan. So Shania, I actually have a photograph I would like to share. Can I do that? Thank you. So this painting, I discovered on that same day that I had this experience. I was actually on Instagram, and this photograph of this painting appeared before me, and I could immediately feel in myself that this was Christ at the Agya. And I counted, and there was even 11 blue angels around him. So I wish to use this today for the meditation. So there's something that is nice to do, a little, we call it a little balancing bandhan. So it's one of those little things that you can do at any time. Instead of thinking you have to clear or cleanse your channels, sometimes you just need to balance them and put them, sort of harmonize them one with the other. So, okay, maybe I can show my own video first as we do it. So it's very simple. We just raise the central channel up like that 7 times. Keeping the attention on the Kundalini and feeling how each gesture may affect our vibrations. And then we will take left to right 7 times, just the left up and the right down. Just see how that feels. And now again, we take up the center. Feel your Kundalini 7 times. And now we will balance the right side up to the left side 7 times. Just notice what happens in your subtle system. And then to end this, we take up the center 7 times again. So we keep our feet on the ground, and we can start by connecting our energy and our attention deep down into Mother Earth. And we connect with Mother Earth sincerely from the heart, as we would greet our own grandmother. And from our feet, we can imagine deep roots growing down into the earth. So as we do this, we can thank our grandmother, Shri Bhumi Devi, for nourishing us and cleansing us every single day. We can speak to her like we would speak to our own grandmother, from the heart, in our own words. We wish to establish this very real, deep, and personal connection to her every single morning. And try to feel on your subtle system the response that you get, the shift that you might feel. Then we can bring our attention to the level of the Muladhara chakra. And here again, we connect with Lord Ganesh. As an absolute living presence within us. And we come before him like we would come before our beloved elder brother. If you wish, you can even imagine him sitting before you. And you can speak to him. Sometimes I like to say, beloved brother Shri Ganesha, let me just sit here before you for a while and let me feel your presence. Let me know that you're here, that I am worthy of your attention. No words or rituals are needed if you have this connection. Just with all humility, we can say, Shri Ganesha, I don't know anything about anything. Just let me know that I am in your presence, that I am in your attention. So we can ask Shri Ganesha to take us to the heart chakra. And we move with him, with our attention into the center heart. And as we know, Shri Ganesha is on all the chakras. He is in every cell of our body. So we pray that he may establish fully in the heart as well. So we'll take just a minute to stay here in the center heart with our attention and just feel how maybe the chest starts to relax. We can start to slow down our breathing a little. And as our chest relaxes and opens up and our breathing goes deeper, our breathing also expands. And it becomes natural to take a little pause after each in-breath and each out-breath. And we can start to notice the connection between the Sahasrara and the heart, and just stay with those two places at the same time, as if we were breathing in through the Sahasrara and nourishing the heart chakra. So I will now play. We can stay with our attention in the Sahasrara, and I will play 3 little clips from this talk from 1978 called Agya means to order.
Today we are talking about.
I'm just checking if you have sound.
Yes, Peter.
Chakra. Called as Agya.
Right now, we don't have Bodil. There is no any volume.
Today we are talking about the sixth chakra called as Agya chakra.
Is there sounds tonight?
Yes, the sound is there right now. Perfect.
The Gya words means to know. Gya is to know. And A means the whole. Agya chakra also has another meaning. Agya. Agya means obedience or to order. It can mean both the things. If you order to someone, it is an Agya, and the one who obeys the order is an Agyakari, and the one who does the Agya. This sixth chakra was created in the human beings when he started thinking. Thinking is language expressed. If we do not have a language, we cannot think. But it does not mean there is no thought coming into us. If we cannot express it, it does not mean there is no thought process working in us. But at that certain stage, when the thoughts are coming to us, they are not in language. So they are not communicated to us. And that's why if we do not have language, we cannot understand what we are thinking. That's why you must have seen children cannot communicate to us what they want because they cannot say what they are wanting. They feel the urge in the stomach and they want to ask for, say, water or something, but they can't say it to us. And that's why they cannot think what they have to say about. But afterwards, when you start thinking and putting it into language, that language is stored in our brain, as shown in the picture on the left-hand side and also on the right-hand side of that yellow and black. Then it comes back to us later on as thought waves, as if somebody is talking to us. But before the language starts, we can call it the inspiration or the thought process at the very early stage comes to us in certain forms. And those forms are in light and shade. They are not in language, but in light and shade. And after coming to Sahaja, if you go deep into your thoughts, you'll find they are nothing but lights and shade that are covering our Agya chakra. One after another, a light and shade like a circular lighthouse, they give a kind of a pattern in our head. Now these patterns are molded into language by us at a very early stage, and these are sort of filled into the cups of language, and then these cups are kept reserved in the brain and they come to us that way. When we think, we really understand it because it's a language that comes to us. So what happens to the animal? In the same way, they want to think about Sahaja. Now you cannot think about Sahaja. First of all, you become thoughtlessly aware in Sahaja to begin with. You cannot think. But it is a happening about which you cannot think. It's a living happening. Thinking is a dead movement. It's not a living movement. Whatever is dead in us comes back to us as thought. Inspiration is living, not the thinking. Inspiration is very different from the thought. For example, books are in the library. Everything that we have thought of or have got it or experienced is in the books. Whatever is new coming to us is the inspiration. Now just find out how many new things you are thinking. Perhaps not even a sentence. Mostly we say that this gentleman said so, that gentleman said so, that gentleman said so, or I said so. I mean said. If you can think about that is coming, just coming to you, you don't have to think for it, it just comes in spontaneously. It is inside you, it just emerges and expresses itself. So that is the spontaneous living thing. That is what we call as inspiration, is a sudden glimpse of the knowledge that we get. But whatever we have thinking about is all the play of the dead. So, this is the center of Christ. He resides in the center of Agya. And he is, in the Devi Purana, if you read, was born long time before, was created much earlier, and how he developed into Mahavishnu. Also, you can read it for yourself because it's a big chapter, and I wish you all could go and read about it and find out how he developed into Mahavishnu. It is very interesting. Because all these things were written in Sanskrit language, we should not say that Mahavishnu was not in the Bible. It was not written at a stretch by one person. So that part is a part of Christ's creation before he came on this earth as Christ.
Actually, Christians do not know anything about his becoming, how he became Christ, or what was the need to have Christ or a son to come down. Why not God himself would do the job? And this is the reason why I would request you to read for yourself the incarnation of Mahavishnu, by which you realize why Christ was born. And it is the most important incarnation because he is the principle. He is the principle of creation. Tattva, as they call it in Sanskrit language, he is the Tattva. Ganesha, though resides in the Mooladhara, gradually evolves to be Christ at this stage. From that red chakra up to this chakra, he becomes Christ. He is the principle. Now, what is the principle? Within us, what is our principle? Is, say, the Kundalini, you can say. In this, the electricity is the principle of this one is. In the same way, the creation, the whole creation, if you take it as such, it is the principle and the support of this creation. He represents the essence of creation. Like we can say, we have a family, husband and wife, and the child. Now the child is the essence of husband and wife. He is the essence of the family, of the house. The whole thing is sustained for him, is created for him. Till they did not have the child, there was no meaning to that house, no meaning to their life. But when they had a child, then they had a meaning. In the same way, Christ is the essence, is the tattva itself. He is the Omkara, as they call it. He is the first sound that was created, Om, when the primordial father and primordial mother separated. They created this sound. And he is that sound which is filled into all-pervading power and looks after and supports. Actually, it is more the support, because looking after is done by the father, you can say, or by the mother, but is the support of all the universe. And because he is just the essence never dies. Say, my essence is my spirit. It will never die. The body dies, all the creation will die, but the essence has to be there. If the essence is lost, then nothing could be there. That's why he is the most important incarnation, because he is the support. Now this incarnation is placed in this Agya chakra of ours. Here, in the center, where the optic nerve or optic thalamus cross each other like this, in the center is a very subtle point, which moves both the sides like this and like that. And it creates two sounds, hum, ksham, hum, ksham, hum, ksham. But these poisons that are being built outside and inside you, please throw them away. These are mental poisons. Through Agya you can take them out. You see, this is an opening also through which many things go out. Try to work it out. Look at the tree with love. And you'll find that the tree itself is giving you the joy of its creation, because you'll become thoughtless. And the Creator who has made that beautiful tree will be pouring all that joy which is stored into it. Every human being is a store of joy. Unlimited. I assure you, believe me. And don't waste them because somebody is not properly dressed, or he is not according to the way you want him to be, which you learnt in your public school. Every doorstep, everywhere, there is beauty lying. Do not miss it. But if you have a possessiveness about it, and adultery about it, then you can never enjoy them. You can never enjoy all that beauty, all that store, all that wealth that is in every human being. Every moment it is bubbling. For Agya, it's a good thing. Christmas is coming, and at the time when I have to wish you happy Christmas, that at this occasion, I'm speaking about Agya chakra, in which what I said is Agya is one must know what to order and how to obey. Obey the divine, obey your elders, obey yourself and not your ego, and then you can order also others. Not only human beings, but you can even order the sun and the moon and all the winds and everything in the world. Everything you can control, everything with this Agya. You try one thing. If you know somebody is going to do something wrong, just take his name and put it to Agya. He'll not do it. Try it. This is a trick I'm telling about for those who are realized souls, not for those who are not yet realized, but those who are realized can try. If the other person is doing something wrong, you can try your Agya. Anything you order on your Agya will be respected, but your Agya must have Christ there, because you have the great support awakened within you, which does not exist here, but into every man's head. It is all pervading into all small atoms and molecules. It is everywhere, into the sun and any place you go. It is there. So try to develop your Agya. That is the mastery of yourself. Those who have a good Agya can master anything and understand that the idea about mastering worldly things and mastering human beings and mastering this, and some of them are mastering in, say, other crafts and things. Best thing is to master your Agya. And you really become the master of yourself, by which you can master many things. And today, on this great day, when I'm wishing you a happy Christmas, I wish you to have the most powerful Agyas, that people, when they say your forehead, should know that Christ is reborn again within you. May God bless you.
Jai Shri Mataji. So as we know, Shri Ganesha rises through the left side channel in us and establishes at the Agya as Shri Surya. And Shri Surya is the sustainer of life. He brings life, warmth, and vitality. And he is the abode of Lord Jesus Christ. So as we heard in Shri Mataji's speech, the truth comes to our brain as divine light. You can say as pure consciousness. So before anything else, we wish to establish this light in our Agya. So in the morning, when we worship Mother Earth, maybe we touch the ground, we ask for her forgiveness, we take a moment to connect to her. We can also bring our attention to Shri Surya in the sky, to the sun, and say his name, say a prayer, and ask for this light to establish in our Agya chakra. And we can have our attention in the center of our head. So the Agya sits behind the eyes, a little bit further back in the very center of our head, just below the brain. And we will now see if we can use this power that Shri Mataji has bestowed upon us. So at this place, at the Agya chakra, we connect with our elder brother, our most powerful Lord Jesus Christ. And as we did with Lord Ganesh, we come before Christ in this area as if we were truly sitting before him. We fall at his feet. We can even imagine ourselves doing a beautiful namaskar, putting our Agya to the ground before him. Complete surrender. Sometimes when we do this meditation and we connect with the deity, we might feel more of a connection or less of a connection. So as you incorporate this into your practice, into your daily meditation practice, or whenever it feels right for you, you may feel that a certain deity, that you have a desire to know more deeply and feel more strongly in yourself, that the connection improves over time. So on each chakra, we can connect with our deities in this way, in a very personal and direct way. So we can say to our elder brother, Lord Jesus Christ, I don't know anything about anything, but I wish to know you in my heart and to feel your presence and to be blessed by you. So this powerful light at the center of our Agya, whatever resides in each and one of us that may be troubling us, we simply take it and we place it on the Agya. We place it on this light. Whatever may be going on in our lives, in our job, in our family, if there is something that pulls at our attention, that comes up again and again, that we find difficult to resolve, that is troubling us, we simply place it at the Agya. And we do this with the absolute confidence that we are the soldiers of our Holy Mother, that we are completely obedient to the light of truth, and that we know in all confidence, in our full confidence, we know that Lord Jesus, who is the great support, is awakened within us and is established in our Agya. Whatever is going on in our collectivity in Sahaja Yoga all over the world, we don't even have to think about it. We just ask that anything that may go against Dharma, we place it on the Agya. With the absolute confidence that we are the soldiers of our Holy Mother, completely obedient to the light of truth. With full confidence that Lord Jesus, who is the great support, is awakened within us and established in our Agya. So for each and one of you, if something arises within you, something comes into your attention, please know that you have this connection and this power, and that you can gently place it on the Agya. And Lord Jesus Christ, who is Sri Ganesha, who is Sri Kartikeya, who is the support of every atom and molecule in the whole universe, he is the support of the whole creation. He is awakened within you. And whatever is troubling you, you can place at his lotus feet in your Agya. So we can now continue our meditation with a little bit of music. Is that okay, Shania?
Yes, please. Kartik, whenever you are ready, we would love to continue our meditation with your music.
Jai Shri Mataji, everyone. Thank you for the beautiful music. Let us do namaskar. And we can do a Kundalini bandhan before we continue the program.
Thank you, Bodil, and thank you so much, Kartik. Such a beautiful and deep meditation we had it tonight, Bodil. It was so wonderful. You made us to speak with the Shri Ganesha and the Lord Christ. I mean, the way you put our attention on them, honestly, I really felt so strong. It was beautiful and it was very strong, very deep meditation.
I'm very glad you say that, Shania. It's I feel the same, and it was really a very big transformation for me when I learned this way of meditating. I actually learned it from Priti, who was here with you some time ago. And for us now, this is something we sort of feel we hear Shimataji say and talk about. It's there as a natural thing. I even heard in a public program I came across the other day, Shimataji says to the seekers, this was in India though, so maybe in India, culturally, it's more natural to do this. She said, do namaskar in your mind to Shri Ganesha as she was giving realization. So it does create a different, it's important, I feel, to have a personal connection to the deities and to explore your subtle system. And for me, do you mind if I start telling already?
Yes, definitely. Shall we bring Kartik also to
Yes, please.
Yes, but please don't forget Kartik. It was so wonderful.
It was really, really special.
Please, what you play, amazing. We can't hear you, Kartik. You are mute. In the same time, Bodil, please don't forget to share that part.
Maybe I already forgot. No.
Please.
Hi.
Kartik.
Hey Shimataji,
It was such a beautiful, it calls raga, right?
Yes, so this is,
what raga was it?
this is Madhuvanti.
Madhuvanti. I never heard from you. Actually, Bodil, Kartik I believe in the same collective. And Kartik, I never heard this piece before from you. It was wonderful. It was so wonderful. Thank you so much. And I'm sure everyone felt the same thing, meditation and the music. Yeah. It was such a wonderful connection.
I really felt like an opening on the left side from your music. Maybe something I needed today. It really had a beautiful effect on my Ida Nadi.
Thank you.
Very nice, very nice. So I think Haribaya wants to say something, or I saw the hand raised. Does anyone would like to share how was the meditation? We would like to hear from everyone. How did everyone feel with with deep meditation, the deep affirmation, and how Bodhi put our enlightened attention into all the deities, especially Shri Ganesha and Shri Jesus Christ. And of course, when the music came, the tabla, and I believe all the things, whatever we had in our heart, insecurities and discomfort, everything, I believe it came out through this beat of the tabla. So we love to hear from Is there anyone to share in it, your own state? Please do it.
Yes, Jai Shri Mataji. Thank you, Kartik Bhaiya, for the wonderful music. And I just wanted to share with Bodil. Thank you for today's meditation. It was I learned a lot about especially the Agya chakra, and I remember now that Preeti, a yogini who was there with us a few sessions back. She had mentioned this technique of bringing any problem to the Agya, and she said she was looking for a video which Sri Mataji had demonstrated how to do that. But,
Well, actually,
yeah.
sorry, Priti is a slightly different one where you take it and you offer it up.
Yeah.
Like it's beyond you, you just offer it up.
Yeah. And she said that there was a video that Sri Mataji had demonstrated that, but she was not able to find it. So she's also looking for it. And you shared that today. So thank you. And I think, thank you so much. This is very important. And it was very good meditation today. So thank you so much, Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji.
Thank you, Amrita. You have such a memory that you remember it.
No, it was very like now today when she shared that, I remember Preeti had shared the same thing and she was looking for the video. So it is very useful. I hope to use it. It's a very useful technique and I hope to use it often. I should make use of this.
Yes, indeed, we should all. A beautiful talk that we should be listen, and then also we learn.
Very powerful, yeah.
We learned a bit.
An amazing talk. How Mother just explains how the thoughts arise, that it's just light coming in, and then we make it into thought, and then when we are in the world, instead of actually accessing reality, we just go to our thought. It's like a substitute. So the thought comes in and stays there instead of us just having a direct experience. So as yogis, we can come back to that place and be in that pure inspiration. I'm sure that's what happened when Kartik was playing. He was right there.
What do you say, Kartik, for this?
So this was one of beautiful things is that like yesterday night Chennai Didi had we were talking about playing. So I came with absolutely zero preparation. So I think that is why I really enjoyed it, right? So just you're just connected automatically.
Yeah.
The beautiful meditation, you're in sync.
Very nice. Thank you, Kartik. Is there anyone would like to share more anything in the chat box? If there is no, we can continue for conversation. Okay. So, Bodil, you were talking about being a thoughtless and how to reach this state, and I would like to hand over to you.
There was something I was about to share, which for me has been very, very important. And this is something that, I picked up from conversations with, those lucky yogis that did spend quite some time with Sri Mataji back in the 80s, is that you sort of over time, you sort of have meditation become a routine and just do the same thing every time, but that you sort of explore your subtle system. And maybe this has to do with me being an artist and being a creative person. I like sort of playing around with things, I don't take it for granted that it's just the A and the B and the C that I learned in the Sahaja Center. Like now I have all these deities within me. So I remember being a beginner yogini. I would be in public transport, and with my mantra book, I was so excited because I could read about all the deities, and I would sort of oh, Rama. Oh, I wonder who Rama is. I didn't know anything about anything. I really didn't. And I would start to feel this atmosphere, and then I was like, oh, what about Christ? And I was like, I was almost like I was talking to them, connecting, reaching out to them. Very spontaneously. Nobody taught me to do this. So later when I heard from the older yogis that you can do this, you can sort of speak to the deities. And I would start to realize that there were deities in my subtle system that were not really awakened or fully awakened. So as part of my growth, In Sahaja Yoga, we do treatments to enhance and strengthen and purify the chakras. And of course, what comes out of that would be that it is a more appropriate place where the deity can express itself.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like a treatment itself that we go, like, I remember realizing that I didn't have a very strong connection to Shri Vishnu Maya. I must have had some left Vishuddhi problems in the past. And really sort of, I actually would ask Shri Ganesha to establish on the chakra. And I would sort of go before Shri Vishnu Maya. I was like, I can't feel your presence. Are you there? I would pray to her. I would say her names. And over time, it would help. I could feel it. So for me, it's, yeah, and Priti, she's a very dear friend. And she will always say that it's a personal journey. You have to make it your own. Mm-hmm. So we learn, for example, we learn a prayer to Shri Bhumi Devi to say in the morning. It's a beautiful thing to do. But how about you just speak from your heart? You just say to Shri Bhumi Devi, beloved grandmother, I've been so exhausted lately. What's going on? Can you please replenish my energies? There must be something in my field that is I'm not restoring my energy. I care for you so much. You're so beautiful. You can use your own words. And in that moment, there is something that will be what you need to say. And then you can see if you get an answer, because the energies will then come. Something will come into your attention. Something will change on your subtle system. Like now with Kartik's music, something shifted on my left side. You open yourself up and it comes to you.
Yes. And also it's so beautifully you explain, Bodil, and also it takes away from the art, from us, from the ritualism, right?
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, of course, we know so many mantras, maybe, right? So we know so many affirmations, but if we don't say from our heart, and if there is no connection by the heart, and if there is no connection with the spirit and with the deities, I think it will go to ritualism, and that it will not really, whatever manifest, it is supposed to be manifest with the qualities of all the deities. I think it will not work, isn't it?
Yeah, I think sometimes we are worried of making a mistake, or we are worried of not doing. I remember feeling like that, like having an altar in my home. I was like, oh, am I supposed to do? I was like, okay, maybe I should like in the beginning, I didn't feel the natural, like the protocol wouldn't come spontaneously, or, it takes time. You can say, okay, I have recognize Shri Mataji, I meditate every day, but still there's a journey to make. Still there's a growth in the process. So I believe that if you worry about making a mistake, or you think, oh my God, I didn't say the Ganesha mantra, or no, I put the light on the wrong side. It's, then you maybe start doing things because you want to be a good girl, or you want to be like a good student. So sometimes I don't do anything. Sometimes I like even that, like breaking the rules, so to say. It's like sometimes you just know in your heart that today I'm just going to sit in silence and I feel the connection and I'm done. Or sometimes, you want to take the month, you know what I mean? It's like, it is spontaneous. It's allowing yourself to do it exactly the way that is right for you in that moment, and trust yourself. Because in order to be your own guru, you got to trust yourself. You have to. The answer is not outside, it's inside, it's in you.
Wow.
And that, I think, can be a difficult step for people to take. That you are being guided. The guidance that comes and the inspiration at the Agya, it happens in you, with your axis. Yeah.
Yes. Wow. Such a tip. So many beautiful things that you put in our attention. I believe everyone will take benefit with that awareness coming for the meditation, for the daily meditation. So, Bodil, then how do you do, of course, we listen to Mataji's talk about the Agya, but also there is one state as we always try to be in, we call it thoughtless awareness. And how to reach into thoughtless awareness, and when we reach, what benefit we get it in our daily life through your experience. I remember one of your experience, and you are artist, visual artist, and you work in the big projects, and one of the project was supposed to finish some certain amount, but you finish very quickly. So can we connect with that experience with the being thoughtless?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you things that have happened to me, experiences that I've had. Okay, so I'll tell that story about the Agya first, because, okay, and then I'll try to answer the other questions. So I was in a group of yogis. We were doing one meditation every month, because we have a brother who's called Eide. He's from Israel. And last year, there was quite a lot of unrest in Israel. So there was a desire between all of us to do a meditation and put our attention on global issues such as the unrest in Israel and Palestine. So we were meeting once a month, and I was sort of putting together these deep meditations like today, putting together, like doing the research. And I am a little bit I get a bit obsessed when I start doing research, and I look into a topic, and I spend a lot of time putting together a lot of information, and I have to read all through it again. And so I'm using my brain a lot. This is also what I do as a teacher, because I teach painting. So I will do a lot of research on art history. And I will sometimes, like, first I have to find like 200 different things, and then I simplify it, and then I find the thing that I'm going to do and talk about. So all of this process takes a lot of time. It is exciting, but it kind of takes a lot of time and effort. And I'm sort of trying to feel a little bit the vibrations and the atmosphere. And so all of this, I was very happy doing it. It was very joyful work, but it did take like a week or two to put together a workshop, because I really wanted to make sure all the connections between Mother's talk and the mantras. And then I made the slide and whatever. So one day, Itai sends me this talk, this last little clip where Shri Mataji say that you can control the sun and the moon and the wind, and and something was like, I could feel like what was going on. It was such a powerful thoughtless awareness that just came with that talk and that clip, and it stayed with me. And that same day, I just knew, okay, this is a workshop, and the whole thing just came like, like, okay, we're going to do these names, and this is the slide, and it's that painting I saw, I just showed you, and it's going to be this talk, and then I'm going to do the meditation this way. And I just wrote it all down, and the work that usually would take a week or two, I just did it in a few hours.
Wow.
So it was so interesting, because the topic was mastering your Agya, wasn't it? And I really felt like, okay, this is now a capacity, or this is something that is possible because of the Agya that has been enlightened, and the inspiration that comes directly. If we can connect with that, maybe I don't have to do this 2 weeks of research and rereading everything. So I felt a very strong shift on my Agya after that. So again, I think the thoughtlessness will come. It's not up to you. I think it will come when you are really centered and really trusting and really give yourself to it. And you know what, Shanai, I'm not anymore. I'm not really worried if I'm catching, if I'm thinking, if I'm thoughtless or not. It's not really something that I bother about anymore, because I feel the connection is so strong. I really do. And this, if the people, I don't know, how long these brothers and sisters have been in Sahaja Yoga, but I went through a long process in order to really be able to go deeper. As I told you about, I was like a yogini for many years, but I wasn't really. I mean, I was feeling vibrations, I was meditating, but then came a moment where suddenly, whoosh, it's like I was able to go much deeper, and my subtle system changed. It like I could literally, there was a period of time I could feel my hamsa opening. I could feel the pittas in my head opening. I could feel my vishuddhi, like my voice changed. I was able to meditate in a different way. So something changed in me, and these worries and the fears and the insecurities and the wondering, this, like, it just does, it's not there anymore. Like I go inside and Shri Mataji is there, and I ask her a question, and somehow, whether it's in the moment or later on or through some other, the answer comes and the guidance is there.
That's beautiful.
I don't know if it answered your question, but
Yes, you did. So I have another question, because you brought one question. So you say that the thoughts are mastering our Agya, but once you remove the thoughts, which are the past, which comes from the past or the future. So after that, what is mastering our Agya when we put our attention that we are all over places?
well, maybe today's talk helps in that you understand a bit what thoughts are, because when we live inside thoughts, they seem real and they seem like they are telling us something. We get convinced. You know, it's like, imagine that I now create, like I build this maze, this labyrinth in front of me. I build it, like a big one. And then I go to sleep. And then I wake up the next morning, I forgot that I made it. And I'm inside the labyrinth, and I'm walking around inside the labyrinth as if it's the only thing that exists. That's a bit what the mind is, you see. We walk around in this world and we think that, oh, this is it. You know, these people say, oh, this is reality. This is what is real. And as yogis, we kind of know that it's not. We know that everything is energy, and that, so today's talk sort of shows you that I don't know how to say it. This is something I just know in my awareness. I don't know how to explain it to somebody. And maybe it's taken time for me to get there. But when you have that sense of that silence and that stillness and that thoughtless awareness, you also have a different experience of yourself. And it's almost like you also have to then have the discipline throughout your day and throughout your life to know that that is reality. So it's like almost like a mental discipline to remind yourself what is real and what is not. It can be a bit daunting to let go of this known reality that we have. And it can even be daunting and even scary, very naturally, for us as human beings to stop identifying ourselves with our thoughts, because they give us great sense of identity. If I tell you, Shanai, no, what you said is wrong, you're wrong. If you then feel terribly hurt and terribly upset because I told you that your thought was wrong, I didn't say you were wrong, I said your thought was wrong. It means that you are identified with your thought. You believe in it. And when I try to chuck it out, it's like I'm chucking you out. But I'm not. You know what I mean? So if we start identifying with the spirit and with this space, there's nothing there. It's just space. Well, there's nothing there. Of course, there's everything there. But it's like the experience is that it's nothing, because our thoughts are so busy, right? So I don't know. I'm going on. What did you ask?
But you said spirit. Yeah, the spirit is the mastering our Agya, right?
The mastering the Agya.
And the discipline, and which is the being.
Well, not and the effortlessness, which Mataji says, you know, there's this talk where she uses the word effortless over and over. It's almost like a mantra, isn't it? I mean, are you able to not make any effort at the Agya? And I believe that if you really trust yourself, again and again, I'm going to say this, if you really trust yourself and you trust that you do have this connection, you do have this right, you know, you are worthy. The deeper you go into that connection, the thoughtlessness will just establish by itself. It's not something that you do. So maybe what we can do is to move towards the divine, you know?
Wow.
is to have that. Somebody told me once that it depends. I think I must have asked a similar question to him, and a bit older yogi that I respect very much, and I say, why is it that some people grow so deep and some people have such strong kundalinis, etc. And he said, well, it depends on your intensity.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was so interesting. He said, it depends on your intensity. And it made me think that we mustn't get too comfortable either. Sort of, oh, my life is nice, everything fine. I'll just do a little bit of Kundalini bandhan, and then I'll do a little bit of, oh, thank you, Shri Mataji. It's like, okay, that's very sweet, that's very nice, but like, there's so much more. Like Shri Mataji, there's so much more divinity to come out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to be she asks a lot of us if he starts listening. She does. She's like, you have to be part and parcel of my being. You have to be in the virata. Or you have to settle in the sahasrara. I have to be able to use you as my instruments.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a certain intensity that is required, you know. And if, like Shinai, when we were talking before, you asked me about my own journey, and sort of interviewing myself at this point. You don't have to say anything.
Please.
Oh, Bodil, what was it like for you? Oh, let me tell you. No, I'm just making a connection.
Please.
No, I'm making the connection that I believe that I did have a certain amount of intensity because I went through some quite difficult things. And we talked about this, Shinai, that sometimes maybe in Sahaja Yoga, we have a little bit of a fear of not being good enough or not being perfect or not being good yogis. So when we do go through dark periods of our life, I have heard stories of people like not telling anyone, and suddenly they are actually, you know, at a place where they can't be rescued. So I would like to, you know, be that voice that says that maybe you're supposed to go through dark times. I know I was. Maybe it's the perfect thing for you to go deeper, to understand how powerful you are, to learn about your strengths, and to reach out to Shri Mataji, even though, you know, you feel desperate. It's like you might think this is wrong, this shouldn't be happening, but that's you judging it. I think for me, Shri Krishna has been, you know, since the beginning, he's been the deity that I have felt the most connected to, and that has really guided me. So I had a period of time. I was actually going through chemotherapy some years ago. I had breast cancer and I was going to chemotherapy, and things were not looking, I mean, I was never at the risk of dying. It wasn't that at all. It was just that this sort of incredibly difficult time going through all the, you know, the cancer therapies. So I wasn't able to meditate very much, and I wasn't able to, you know, purify my subtle system every single day and feel cool vibrations. I was not. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go through this period, and I'm just going to, you know, Shri Mataji is right there with me, and I would pray. You know, I would get very anxious because of the chemicals and the medications, and also the uncertainties and everything. And I just knew, okay, I'm in this state. I'm not even going to try, and you know, it would just create more stress for me if I was to worry that, oh no, I'm catching on the void or whatever. I just prayed. If I was able to meditate, I meditated, but I kept Shri Mataji in my heart. I kept a photograph next to my bed. It's like I didn't make that into a problem that I was not being a good yogini. You know what I mean?
Yes. And
then I had this beautiful, beautiful moment that I wanted to share with you. I was out walking. And when you're in going through these periods, you know, you can imagine the mind is running away with you. and I wasn't able to, stay in a happy, positive place every day. And it was difficult to keep a perspective on things, to see things in a way that made sense. Like there were days where just anxiety would just take over. So I was out walking. I don't know if I asked a question or anything, but suddenly I just had this moment, a bit like I felt like I got like a tiny bit of what Arjuna got on the battlefield when Shri Krishna revealed himself.
Mm-hmm.
I must have had Shri Krishna in my mind. And suddenly I just had this sort of whoosh moment where I just saw and felt like everything is Krishna, everything. I'm completely, whatever comes, if it's good, it's like everything is the same. It's one thing. Everything is the field. Everything is Krishna. And like my whole body, my whole my subtle system, I just felt like giggling. It's like, this is reality. This is reality. Like things arise before you, experiences, your body goes through things, your mind might be in all kinds of dark places, but it's all, if you can see it with that detachment and just allow things to come and they go, and they like come and they go, you are completely held in that field. I don't know how to, this is one of those things, you can't really explain them or express them. And that for me has been like a moment that I can always come back to. So just to say, you can see I'm healthy, everything worked out fine. And I knew it would, always, I knew it would. And I was able to, work through my vibrations and everything and work it out. So, yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. So it is like Bodil, like you really experienced in this difficult time, let's say that example, I would like to say you experience Virat and Virata in the same time, right?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Like Virat is the ultimate complete development of, right? Complete development of Shri Krishna, which is on our Vishuddhi. And so there was no any doubt, there was no any fear. And when there is no any fear, there is no any thought, there is no insecurity, and you are in Virata. And
you just know what is real. I just knew what was real.
Wow, this is amazing. This is such a wonderful experience. And I believe, I really feel like whoever is facing any difficulties, I mean, this in the family or in person, it can be, this is such a beautiful reminder. It's amazing and very strong reminder for each of us. And I really want to say thank you, Bodil, because as a human being, we are all yogis, of course. Let's say we are all realized souls, but not everything is perfect in our life, right? So the beauty of in Sahaja, or beauty of being a realized soul, and how to work or how to connect with all the deities without any fear, right? Without any insecurity and without any doubt. You said, I was myself, which is the spirit, right? This is a so wonderful reminder for each of us that we can also continue, or we can also remove all those difficulties maybe if we are facing. So,
and sometimes you really need to, there's a concept that is in Buddhism, it's called as the dark night of the soul. It's something they talk about as it's almost like this. I know there are other places they talk about the similar concept. So there is a journey that our soul needs to move through, right? Some people call it the hero's journey, maybe, and it's like there will be times, or maybe not for everyone, maybe, but for me, there was a long period of time where I didn't get an answer or a solution. What I was given was an opportunity to really become very strong and become fearless and develop or discover a lot of resources. So I'm very grateful for that long period. So for me, that dark night of the soul was a time for me to become very patient, because of course I prayed a lot, and I asked for things to change. And and they didn't, for a long time, they didn't change. So you're like, okay, Ashram Mataji says, dear God, if this is where you want me to be, I'll be here, So you're being obedient, At the same time, you're doing your very best for things to improve. Now, this patience is something incredible. So when you don't see the end of the tunnel or whatever, it's like at a certain point, it's like, okay, so what if I stop praying for the solution and like for things to change, and I'm going to start praying for my perspective to change? So sometimes I would pray like, okay, I would like for this to change, but if it cannot change, please change my perspective so that I see it. I would start to pray, please let me see this the way you want me to see it. And that helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Let me change my perception. And that's the Agya again, you see?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of like, if you're judging something as wrong, or you're comparing it to something that you think it should be, you're still in the mind, you see? It's very hard.
Mm-hmm.
But if you say, what am I supposed to be learning here? What is right about this? How about that? How about you ask the question, oh, wow, interesting. This is very weird. Why is this happening? That's a trick question. Ask rather, what is the gift in this? What is the silver lining? What is right about this? What can I, what I would ask very often, this is a wonderful little trick. What can I be grateful for today?
Mm-hmm.
Because really coming back to the now is like, wow, look at me. I can drink clean water right from the tap. Like the sun is shining on me. I can breathe without any problems, So sometimes if you've been through like a very sort of physically uncomfortable thing that I did, you become very grounded and grateful for every little thing. Like, oh, I'm able to wash the dishes. I'm not exhausted. I can like, yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing all those beautiful knowledge, actually, with your experience. So we really appreciate it, Bodil. And Bodil, of course, there are so many things to talk, but also some of us know, but some of us who started Sahaja recently, and we know that Srimataji visited several times to Portugal. So you live in Portugal. So there are a few things that Srimataji mentioned, and then even of course, through with the Sahaja, and there is one beautiful video that you mentioned it, and so I really would love to share this video with everyone. So and then we will come back again. How about that?
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Okay, thank you.
Jai Shri Mataji. We are presenting you this video, speaking about the first times when Shri Mataji came to Portugal. Her first visit was back in 1980, July, August 1980, and we had two public programs at that time held on the 3rd and 4th of August. After the first public program, she told us, we were around between 10 and 20 yogis with her, and she told us she would like to visit Lisbon. So we took her to the castle of St. George, which is overlooking the downtown of Lisbon. And then furthermore, we have the river, and on the other side of the river, we have the big statue of Christ the King overlooking town with outstretched arms. So she found it very interesting. And while we were visiting it and walking around, then suddenly we stopped and she said, what do you feel of the statue? So we put our hands to check the vibrations. We could not feel anything. We told her so. So she said, okay, put your left hand towards me, towards me, and your right hand towards the statue. So we did so. And we felt vibrations start flowing. So we told her what had happened. And she said, that's it, you see, because now you're taking vibrations from me. It's normal. You're taking vibrations from me, you're giving to the statue. So she found that was the way she used to vibrate the town, because once the statue was vibrated, and it is overlooking Lisbon, and it will emit vibrations to the town. Because she liked Lisbon, she said it was a beautiful place, but she also said it was a desolate place. And a desolate place, nevertheless, she also said when one of the trips later on, I don't remember exactly if it was 81 or 82, but she also said, you see, there are lots of seekers being born in this country. I guess therefore she gave so much attention at the time to the country. So this was during her first trip. She visited Lisbon and Sintra. She was staying in Sintra. And 16 years later, in 96, 97, two Diwali pujas were held in front of her there in Sintra. She found this place a very special place with a special vibration. She liked it very much, actually. So this is the first story. Some other yogis will tell you now other stories that related to the visits of Sri Mataji in Portugal. So hope to enjoy it, and Jai Sri Mataji.
Jai Sri Mataji. I'm going to tell you the story of the apparition of our Holy Mother in Fatima, which is in the middle of Portugal. Thank you very much. On the 13th of May in 1917, the Holy Mother appeared to three little shepherds in Fatima. They described her as the lady more brilliant than the sun. The children were not believed and very much criticized at the time, but the people started going there to see if it was true, as the Holy Mother had said she would come the following month at the same date. The little shepherds were called Francisco, Jacinta, who was 7, and Lucia, who was 10. She was the eldest. She told them again to come on the 13th of June, and there she said that 2 of them would die soon, and the eldest would last longer to give her message. Actually, my grandfather, who was a doctor, cured Lucia, and I think they all had the Spanish flu. Following the apparition being reported in newspapers, many pilgrims began visiting the area, but no one could see her. Only the 3 children could see her and talk to her. She gave them a prophecy on the 13th of July, which the Catholic Church revealed only the 2 first parts, a vision of hell followed by a recommendation of devotion and prayer, which would end the Great War and bring peace to the world. However, she predicted the worst war if people did not cease offending God. The 3rd secret was to be revealed in 1960, but the Vatican kept it and only in the year 2000 disclosed it. It mentioned the death of the Pope. A huge crowd gathered in Fatima that day, as well as reporters and photographers. It seemed that after the rain, the dark clouds broke and the sun appeared as a spinning disk in the sky. The sun went towards the earth before zigzagging back to its normal position. She was then believed, and Fatima became a place of pilgrimage and devotion to the Holy Mother. Until today, on every 13th of May, every year, lots of religious festivities and pilgrimage are being held in Fatima. Jai Sri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji. This is the story of how Shri Mataji discovered a Swayambhu in Portugal. As we all know, a Swayambhu is something that it's not man-made, it comes out of the Mother Earth, so it's something miraculous how the vibrations manifest, and sometimes it's a deity, or it's usually something of great importance vibrationally. And whilst in Portugal, by miracle in fact, Shri Mataji discovered a Swayambhu. So this happened in 1982. Shri Mataji came to Portugal. She gave 2 public programs. There were also some follow-ups. And it was during one of the follow-ups on the 30th of May 1982 that there was a small incident. The caretaker of the hall, he wanted to go home by midday. Now this was a big problem because Shri Mataji wanted to spend longer there in the hall working on the new people. So Shri Mataji came up with a brilliant solution. She said, wherever he needs to go, tell him that he can come in our car. He can take all his stuff in the boot of our car. He will probably reach the location he wants to go to at the same time, because going by car is so much faster than going by bus, and he can take all his stuff in the boot of our car. So let's see. So that was a deal. So Shri Mataji was allowed to stay longer there. So when the public program finished, Shri Mataji kept the word. But this time she did a little more. She decided to go to that fair as well. The place where he wanted to go, the caretaker, was a fair where they buy and sell handicrafts. She wanted to sell some of his handicrafts there. So Shri Mataji decided to go to the fair. On the way there, suddenly, when getting very near the location, the right location, Shri Mataji commented, the vibrations are far too strong for a place like this, here in the middle of nowhere. What have you got here? It has to be something really important. Could it be you have maybe a tooth of Lord Buddha, or maybe some hairs from the Prophet Muhammad? But apparently not. So Shri Mataji declared, in that case it must be a Swayambhu. Then she asked the caretaker, so what's going on here? What's the importance of this place? What happened? And he said, yes, there is in fact something very important. There was a miraculous discovery in the past, in 1822, by the end of May. So it was end of May 1822 when a little statue of the Virgin Mary appeared in a grot, in a cave. It happened because 7 boys were playing in the fields. They were running after a rabbit. The rabbit went into a hole, and then in the end, to retrieve the dog, later on they had to dig out the cave, the area, to retrieve the dog, and then miraculously there was that little statue of the Virgin Mary inside that hole. And when people came to visit that statue, people were getting cured, so people knew this is something very special, very, very miraculous. And Shri Mataji said, yes, there it is. I mean, this is the Swayambhu. I could see vibrations are so strong, vibrations are incredible. That is the Swayambhu, that small little version that appeared in the cave. Small because it's only about 10 centimeters high. And so Shri Mataji went to the fair. She bought lots of articrafts. She liked them very much. And then in the end she said, let's visit the cave and see the statue. There was a queue, a big queue, because it was the apparition day. It was the end of May, that weekend. And so Shri Mataji queued like everybody else. And at last we got inside the cave and saw the statue, and that was amazing. The statue actually looked like Shri Mataji. That was another big surprise, And then, of course, it's a tradition. People leave a little money there on a basket for donations to the Virgin. So the Sahaja yogis asked Shri Mataji, should we also leave some donation? And Shri Mataji said, yes, you can. You people can do it. But I can't, because there's no point me leaving some money for myself. So a very interesting comment Shri Mataji gave. And it's quite extraordinary how Shri Mataji arrived there on the only day in the year where the give access to that cave and to the statue in the cave, because it's only on the apparition day at the end of May that they open the cave and put the statue there for people to go and see. But many years can happen without them allowing that visit, because if the river is the river Jamor, if the river floods the cave during spring, they are not allowed to open the cave, because it creates lots of mosquitoes, it's a health hazard. So it has to be on a year where the river in spring does not flood the cave. That had not happened for 5 years in a row. That year Shri Mataji appeared there was actually a very lucky year, at the correct time, at the correct, everything was amazing how Shri Mataji spontaneously turned up there and discovered the Swayambhu herself even before seeing it, even before knowing about it. And then the whole history is there to prove it, because this statue was actually very well known back in the 19th century, although in recent times none of us knew about it. But it was still there, and Mother discovered it for us. That's the important part. Thank you for your time and attention. Jai Shri Mataji.
Wow, today we learned so many things, Bodil, with you and with this video. It's such a wonderful learning time, actually. we didn't know about all those miracle things. Maybe some of us, they heard, but it's so wonderful to share this video that you brought it, actually, this video into our attention, and that we could able to share it in this program. Thank you so much, Bodil.
Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji.
Yeah, I actually created the video 2 years ago for the Guru Puja.
Oh.
Yeah, we offered it, well, of course, with everyone's help. We offered it to the collective at Guru Puja.
Yes, wow, beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, this really, I'm watching actually 4 times. So I mean, of course, I think the last year maybe it came to one of the group. That time I watched it, but since you brought it again, and that time this week I watched it 3 more times. It's so joy-giving to watch it.
Yes, I felt it too. It's I hadn't watched it for a while. It's very it's very special.
It is.
Yeah.
And also it's like a treasure, like you want to keep it and you don't want to forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's important, these stories.
Yes. So, Bodil, we are I mean, the time is already over here 11:20 in the night, but I'm sure you need to go to work, or you have to start for your day.
Yeah.
And whoever with us in Europe or in your site, I'm sure the day is already started, or work day is already started. But I really want to say again, thank you so much for joining to our program and giving all those beautiful experience through your meditation. And I believe today everyone had beautiful and very strong knowledge or awareness through your experience that you brought it. Thank you so much, Bodil, for
a very pleasure, Shanai. It was very nice to be here.
It is, yeah. It
very
is
happy
always
to share this.
Yeah, it is nice to be together. Yes. So, and yes, of course, we always ask this question. We would like to have you again another time whenever it works for you. And
of course, absolutely.
Yeah, wonderful. Please keep in touch and have a wonderful holiday. Merry Christmas.
Yes, thank you. Merry Christmas to everyone.
Thank you.
Jai Shri Mataji. Thank you so much, Shanai, for a beautiful program you put together.
Thank you so much. And how about I would like to hand over for a few minutes to whoever is with us. If anyone would like to say anything to Bodil, please do it.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks again. This is Amrita. Thank you so much. Today was very, very useful information and lot of learning. Thank you so much. Jai Shri Mataji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jai Shri Mataji, my dear sister Budi and Shana. It was perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so you see the message from Ignore. Thank you for the very special evening. Wow, very nice. So I know I would like to tell you, Bodil, I mean, of course, this program is, as much as we are trying to send all the countries and like Turkey, Iran, and all the European countries. And so I don't know, in YouTube, there are already some of the yogis also are watching. There are 9 yogis earlier, I checked it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know who are they, but thank you all. Whoever able to give it time, this is the time actually when we meditate, we connect with each other, we connect with the knowledge of the divine and through the experience. I really appreciate for everyone's time, and that is actually also brings us together, and we always feel the vibrations when we are together. And
I'd like to just say one thing, Shania,
please,
if that's okay.
Please.
There's something for me, when the lockdown started and everyone had to sit at home and we couldn't go anywhere, there was a big transformation in Sahaja Yoga, and what you just described, that all these different countries that we meet online, for me personally, it was also a very big transformation that happened. I was suddenly meditating with people in different countries and people that were different, and I learned new things, so many new things. So for me, it's such a collective thing, because all the things that we talked about today, how the inspiration happens here in the light of the Agya.
Mm-hmm.
For me, what is important there is that each one of us is different. Of course, we are the same, but there's such a beauty in the diversity. And the what I said earlier about trusting yourself and knowing that if you just be yourself, you have capacities and resources and insights and perspectives that might be a great contribution to other people. So to really go inside, because Shri Mataji is guiding you in the way that you are unique, right? I'm not saying we should become like individualists and I'm so special, you should look at me. But if today you learn something from me, it's because I learned something from Priti, and Priti learned something from Ralbai, and Ralbai learned something from, you know what I mean? It's the really be yourself. I think it's such a powerful message. And when you're a yogi, maybe that sentence, which sounds like a cliche, it maybe means something different, something deeper, and again, if you go through something difficult or something dark, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just here this is necessary, and it's for you to discover how amazing you are. Yeah.
What a wonderful message. And don't give guilt yourself, right?
No, there's nothing there's nothing to judge. You just observe, and Shri Krishna is everything.
Wonderful. Yeah. Beautiful. We love to have you again, Bodil.
I would love to come. You can see I just start talking. I just talk so.
Yes, we love to hear you more with many of us. Some of us already left from this side because of the work time, and the Kartik, he had to leave because of he starts the day early, but he gave the message, and it was he is saying that it was such a wonderful program being together, and he also says thank you to you and to everyone whoever joined to this program. And the Sahaja send actually a very wonderful message to you, actually, that before the program, because I would like to read. I'm not sure if you could able to read. She just left. She tells that, thank you for sharing your deep knowledge about everything today. How we can connect to deities, approaching meditation without rituals, sometimes, and also about your prayers to change perspective.
Yeah.
Jai Shri Mataji.
Yeah.
So I wanted to read for you.
Thank you.
So again, I know it's always hard to leave, but
I know.
Yeah, but it's wonderful to be together.
You're going to go to sleep and I'm going to have my morning coffee.
It's me all. But I just want to tell after the program, every day for us, it's still Tuesday over here. Every Tuesday program, it gets such a joyful from my side, and that the vibrations keeps me so longer, and I sleep a little more late. Because this is the vibrations and the collective joy makes me more dynamic, and I can do more things. So, but soon after 1 hour, of course, I will be going to sleep. But yeah, it's the night. Anyway, Bodil,
Okay.
thank you. Have a wonderful day to you.
You too. Bye-bye, everyone.